Hello, for my project I'm going to talk about braids. I'm going to break this up into 4 separate videos. The first video, this video, is about the history behind braids and some of the motivations. So most of modern braid groups, the initial ideas came from the Austrian mathematician Emil Artin. And Artin's famous for a few results. First of all, his results on braids, but he also worked with algebraic geometry, algebraic number theory, solved Hilbert's 17th problem, and is often credited with Emmy Noether for helping formulate a lot of what we consider modern algebra. The ideas in this video and the subsequent videos are based off of the introduction given in the book A Study of Braids by Murasugi and Kurpita. So to start with, what exactly is a braid? Well, there's a few different ways we can think about it, but the focus we're going to have is going to start kind of geometrically, a little bit more intuitive, and then we'll build to the rigor in subsequent videos. If you imagine you have a box where in this box you have one side of the box where you have some ropes that kind of start, and then on the opposite end of the box you have ropes that end. Notice that each point here needs to have the exact same location on the plane formed on that side of the box. Braid is going to be any embedding of these ropes such that no two ropes intersect, and such that at any slice of the box, any plane on the way down, maybe this slice right here, each strand of the braid appears exactly once, no more, no less. Now, often it's unwieldy to draw these kinds of boxes, so usually we draw what we call braid diagrams that look like this over here. Notice that at any given line segment here, the line segment intersects with each rope exactly once, no more, no less. The ropes start and end at the same location relative to the starting and ending line. And anytime the rope goes under, we can denote this by drawing a break in the line. Anytime the rope goes over, we can denote this by physically having it go through. So why exactly do we care about braids? Well, braids are used in a few different fields. The most mathematical the one that seems most clear to me, the one that seems pretty mathematical, would be in knot theory. It turns out that knots can be thought of as braids with the ends attached in certain ways. We also see them when studying DNA, understanding how DNA tangles, untangles is important, and if we understand braid theory, we can get ideas behind that. They're important in robotics. If we want to understand as a robot arm is twisting, how the cables get tangled and untangled, that's important. What we don't want is we don't want the cables getting tangled such that the robotic arm cannot move. We also see them with any type of robots that are designed to build thread, guitar strings, those kinds of things. And it's also going to appear in some fields of art. So if you look at things like quipus historically, or you look at things such as Celtic knots, a lot of those ideas in the art are related to the ideas within braid theory. So one thing we might do is we might start to describe these braids as a group. So the braid group, big B, N, is going to be the set of all braids with N strings under braid the braid product. So the idea with the braid product is you can take one braid, maybe this braid right here, and you can have another braid below it, maybe this braid right here, and you attach them to form a single braid. We can imagine removing this middle black line here. So we kind of squish everything down scale. We're thinking topologically, so we're okay with things not being the same length before the composition. And we can treat them as if we have a single braid with the combined strand kind of patterns. So some more examples of this, we could see if we have the braid beta 1 over here, the braid beta 2, we can attach them together like so, and notice we have this kind of purple line segment showing where the attachment took place. And within this braid group, we're going to call two braids equivalent if we can take the strands and kind of pull them without ever having the strands intersect. So we could take this strand right here and pull it under to the right, and notice that gives us this pattern over here on the right. So in order to show we have a group, we need to show that we have identity. Our identity braid is going to be this braid right here on the left, the braid that has absolutely nothing going on. And we can show that this is the identity by taking an arbitrary braid, perhaps the braid that's given with two kind of twists like so, and we can attach it to this end. Or if we instead attach the identity braid to the first end, it doesn't matter. Either way, we get the same kind of braid, the original braid beta 1. Because all that this identity is doing is it's lengthening the strings without adding any additional twists. And because we're working topologically, the length isn't what matters. What matters is the twists and how these things are connected. To show products are associative, we might consider the braids here beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. And if we attach beta 1 and beta 2 together first, then attach beta 3, that's the same outcome as if we attach beta 1 after attaching beta 2 and beta 3 together. If we think about this geometrically, it doesn't matter whether I glue additional string to the beginning of my braid or end of my braid first. As long as I don't swap any of the twists in the braid in the process of doing so, I have the same outcome. We also get inverses. If we have beta 1 here, what we can do to get beta 1 inverse is we can undo each twist one at a time. Maybe we start off with this twist over here, so we're going to undo it by taking braid 3 over braid 2, where initially we had what would have been in position 2 over position 3. The second twist here, in this pattern here, is the first twist we have here. They still get undone. Notice in either case, we can imagine pulling this top string all the way over to the left, and the two that fall under kind of back to their original positions, and we end up with the identity. These are all equivalent. We're going to use this kind of symbol here to mean equivalent, as if you can take the strings and pull them apart without twisting or untwisting. Next video, we're going to make this more rigorous. We're going to start defining these groups without having to necessarily draw pictures every single time.